Okay, so welcome to our live streaming sessions, and let us get started for tonight. So if you guys do have any questions about the markets, you guys are welcome to chat me. If you have any questions you guys are facing on your trading, or if you guys do have anything that you guys wanted to ask me about the current market situations, you guys are always welcome to chat me on the chats. I'll be reading. And if you guys don't have any questions, then I believe that most of you guys don't have any problem for now. Okay, so what are the things that we are looking at right now? So if we are paying attention, what really happened since last night is we have already been looking at prices has been significantly slower down a bit, despite what I would say that the escalations are still ongoing, still continuing, but so far we are not seeing that gold prices has been going up quite fast, and instead it has been under a little bit of a pressure, and we are back again at square one where prices are still weakened quite much. Where if you guys are watching right now, we are watching through the 15-minute time frame charts, and you guys can actually see that prices hasn't been able to break above the resistance area on the day that during Friday, where the optimism is pretty well, and we are seeing that chances for gold to break higher is there, but certainly it didn't happen, and we are seeing that gold prices have suddenly slowed down a little bit, and we haven't been able to see a lot of market reactions afterwards. And then we started to see that during the opening sessions, what happened is during the closing prices, we are seeing prices close at 3,450. Alright, so I think that is certainly a good key. And during the opening sessions tonight, starting from the Asian sessions, we started to see that prices has been ongoing weakening along the way from 3,443 dropping down to 3,400. So I think that is ultimately considered quite as a slump on the market price, a retracement. And certainly despite all of the activity happening on the Middle East, we still see that prices are still slowing down, not really giving us a lot of drops and not really giving us a lot of jumps. And that really shows us this could be a little bit of a tricky situation to trade with this kind of ongoing situation, as we don't really see any clear trends over the past 2 to 3 hours. And definitely right now we are seeing market has been ranging between 3,410 to 3,420 so far. And with this kind of market conditions, one of the things that I would love to expect is started to see whether prices could start to drop, or either prices starts to jump, which on the upside it will be a little bit further away at around 3,430. Meanwhile, the downside is going to be much closer at around 3,410. Over the past 3 to 4 hours, as we have said, we have been seeing that prices has been trying to break down lower than 3,410 support area, and so far we haven't been able to see any significant results, and we have been seeing prices has just been rejecting those areas, and we are currently watching at this kind of charts ranging at these ranges as of now. So I think this could be a little bit of a longer market, as you guys could expect, because one of the first things, if you guys are watching, that over the past 3 to 4 hours we have been seeing that the US dollar index has been weakening. Yes, that's true, but at the same time we don't really see any jumps. That means that the correlations as of now between the US dollar index and the gold hasn't been really working well for now, as prices hasn't been able to move much. And second of the reasons that we are looking is the market could be pricing in about the escalations earlier on, and so far it seems that a lot of things, and based on what has been reacting from the world side, encouraging of peace deals and the peace negotiations, especially coming out from the US president, he is saying that there's a possibility that he could be wrapping up a negotiation talks between Iran and Israel. So I think we are going to see how that goes, but so far from the ongoing escalations that we are seeing, that this is no signs of slowing down, this is no signs of a truce could be happening between both of them. And right now they are exchanging strikes, missile with missiles, and striking towards the center of the both countries' economy center. So from that alone, I'm not really seeing a lot of good positive results from there despite all of those comments. But certainly we are trying to expect, based on the current market situations that we are watching, it's likely to see that gold are still under a certain of a selling pressure, because we are not really seeing that gold could be going higher for now, and prices are still remain within certain ranges, 3,410, 3,420, and we would love to see that prices could start move much clearer in terms of directions. So I think on either both sides, 3,410 support and 3,430 resistance as of now on the short-term basis, to be actually seeing what could be the next market reactions. Because if we started to see that prices could break higher, then good chances for us to see gold could be testing the resistance area at around 3,450 for now. But if it's going to break down lower, 3,410, we could see that prices will be testing 3,400 support area. So I think right now we are still in the crossroads where market is still deciding where it will be heading next, and I'm expecting that bigger market results will be appearing at the US market sessions as usual. Despite today we won't be having any news, and the only news that will be coming out, it will be starting from Tuesday, because this week is considered as also a heavy week data, especially with the US Federal Reserve will be announcing the decisions of whether they will be holding interest rates or cutting interest rates. So we'll try to see that out as well. But certainly it's going to take until Thursday at around 1 AM Singapore time for us to actually see what are the results coming up from the interest rate decisions. And a lot of people are still expecting that the Federal Reserve will be holding its interest rate, and if there's a surprise, we could actually see gold market could be going up higher. If not, we are going to see that the gold market will be moving on a ranges like the ones that we have been seeing, because I think that will be the most anticipated news for this week, with a lot of people are already expecting that the Federal Reserve will be making some headlines in terms of statement or any clues about whether is the next possible market movement for the Federal Reserve interest rates decisions in the next few months, because traders are already expecting that Federal Reserve will be cutting interest rates at September at the earliest side of the market. If not, we are going to see that market will be cutting interest rates later. But certainly the tendency is there's no way for Federal Reserve to increase its interest rate anymore. That is out of option, that is out of the way. And the most likelihood scenario that we could be actually expecting coming up from the market is the possibility that the Federal Reserve will be cutting interest rates. It's either sooner or later. So I think this week that will be the key event. And if we are looking through what has been happening on the 1 hour time frame charts, you guys can actually see that most of the time we've been seeing that gold prices has been moving in a tendency of weaknesses, and right now we are seeing a rebound right at the eve of the London sessions. So we'll see how this goes. But certainly I will not be expecting bigger market movements as of now, as prices are still ranging and hasn't been allowing us any clear momentums as of now, guys. But certainly one of the things that I will be expecting is to start to see whether prices will be giving us a clear market direction, because as long as prices are still ranging around these ranges, it will be a little bit tougher to trade. It will be having a tendency to make some losses, hits, stop losses. It will be easily happening in that kind of ways. So based on this 1 hour time frame charts, it's very clear that market hasn't been allowing us a lot of move. It's also very particularly similar with what happened during Friday market, where a lot of market is ranging and not really allowing us to get a lot of market reactions until prices breaks out 3,430 and at its highest 3,447, which also ultimately closes at around the high at around 3,450. as expected around our price target ranges on the chart patterns. So I think I'll be trying to see how this works out until the end of the day. But ultimately, from the tendency of today, I'm still seeing the possibility that prices will be moving lower rather than going higher, and we'll see how that goes. Certainly right now it's a little bit uncertain, because every time prices are trying to break down lower, it has been met with failure for most of the time, and prices instead rebounded back. So we'll see how this goes, but certainly I would say right now would be the best time to stay put for now, as if you guys have been trying to test the market on the short basis, I'm not really looking at any good results as of now, guys. Alright. Alright, so if you guys are enjoying what we have already been discussing and analyzing so far on the gold short-term market movement, you guys are welcome to give us your support by giving us a thumbs up and likes. And certainly if you guys haven't followed us yet, you guys are welcome to do so, because we'll be doing our live streaming sessions on Monday to Friday every day on the market sessions, and hope you guys don't miss out on any analysis or updates that we are sharing with you guys on these live streaming sessions, guys. Alright, and definitely if you guys are interested to get more guidance on how you guys could trade with our premium signals, you guys are always welcome to click the link on the video descriptions and chat me through the link there, so you guys could get access to it. And for more information about what is happening around the world, you guys are also welcome to click on the link and chat me for access on my VIP live sessions, where I'll be discussing thoroughly what is happening across the weekend, because we are seeing a lot of things are happening on the Middle East side during those hours. So I think it's certainly is a good topic to discuss, to get a little bit of updates what's happening and see what is the market reactions coming out of those. Alright, so let us see how things are going on the long-term market for gold, guys, because I think we have been discussing only on the short term for today, and let us try to assess things on the long-term perspective on the market. So one of the first things that a lot of people are paying attention is how the prices has been moving so far on the daily basis. And one of the main things that I've always been telling you guys is I would love to see prices breaks out higher, because every time prices tries to break out higher than 3,430, we always see that prices are always slowing back lower below 3,430, and that could be one of the key resistance happen on the gold market. Because if gold prices couldn't sustain its price above 3,430, I think it's going to be a hard time for us to see that momentum ongoing on gold continues to go higher and higher, and we are likely to see market will be slowing down around those ranges. And based on the market reactions that we have been seeing so far, yes, prices has always been trying to push higher, but so far the price reaction hasn't been well. Yes, prices remains elevated, that's true, but we are not really seeing that follow through that is healthy and showing the strength coming out from the gold market movement on the daily charts. And based on that alone, I think it will be a little bit good to be a bit careful to see how the next market reactions will be working next, because if you're not really seeing any big market reactions, it's going to take some time before we see that continuation happens. Maybe on one of the most conservative case, we could actually see that maybe gold will be slowly retreating towards this area before prices to go higher. That could be also one of the possibilities on where there's a possible retracement that could be happening. If not, we could actually see today closing prices hits higher and prices will be ranging around this range, and prices could go higher afterwards. So I would love to see this kind of market reactions on the most neutral basis and a bit of a conservative basis. Try to see a little bit of pullback before prices going higher, or prices still remains around those ranges higher than 3,400, and prices will be ranging around those, and prices will try to break out higher. So I would love to see what's the next market reactions, because so far we are right now still stuck on this sideways range, and we love to see how the market brings us the next momentum, whether it's on the higher side, whether it's lower side. Right now, based on the long-term charts that we have been watching, the possibility right now is likely to go higher. So on the worst case scenario, I'll be expecting a little bit of a pullback before going higher, but not really on the downside for now, because if from what we are seeing, the likelihood for prices to go down is a little bit lower for now. It's just a little bit of a pullback, and prices should be trying to break higher from there, even though the momentum won't be as much as what we are seeing over the past few months during prices breakout 2,950 towards 3,500. Maybe we won't be seeing that anymore on the market, but at the very least we could actually see some clearer market reactions happening on the gold market. Maybe during this week after the Federal Reserve decisions could be out, maybe you could be actually starting to see a little bit of a clearer market directions from there onwards. Alright, so that's the view. Personally, I'm still seeing that prices has the tendency to remain on the uptrend, even though it won't be continuing to go higher, but it will be moving on the sideways range as what we have been seeing on the most conservative case. On the most bullish case scenario, we could actually see that prices could be hitting 3,600, as we have already been showing you guys this kind of market possibility on the long run, what could be happening if prices breaks out, and I've already been sharing the criteria as well. So if you guys are interested to know what are the criteria to actually see that prices could be hitting 3,600, don't forget to click on the video descriptions and check me out for access on my VIP live sessions, guys. Alright, so that's the view. Hope you guys get some understanding on what I'm seeing on the market. Alright, so let us go back towards the gold market. And as of now, we are not really seeing any clearer market reactions, and we are going to wait and try to find out where the market could be bringing us next. But right now we are right at the intersection, right in the middle between 3,410 to 3,430. So it's going to be a bit of a long night, I would say, if prices remains consolidating right down at the middle of the sideways range, guys. Alright, because we are not really seeing any tendency, and let us see how that works, guys. Okay, so I think while we are waiting, try to see out what could be happening here, let us switch towards the silver market movement. Alright, so based on the silver market movement, it's a little bit dull as well. We're not really seeing any clear market directions since Friday, and we are just seeing that prices has also been ranging without a lot of market significance. So I think there's not a lot of much of ideas to discuss here. Likelihood market will be ranging. If you guys are a trend follower, if you guys are a trend follower like me, I think this is a market that I'll be avoiding 100% because there's not really a lot of market ideas or any suggestions to see that market will start to move much better from here. Instead, it's going to be a long night here on the silver market as prices closes at around the low $36.20, and right now prices has been going higher, but the ranges hasn't been giving us any clear signs. Maybe this is building up for another good consolidations in the long run, because I think with this kind of market movement, it will be a very nice thing to actually start seeing a good possibility that the silver market movement is building up a good consolidations for prices to go higher, as we have already been seeing. And there's a possibility that we could be seeing silver prices hitting up the high at around $40 on the long run. So I would love to see how that goes, but it's going to take some time if the consolidations remains in this very tight ranges, because this is what we have been seeing over the past 3 days starting from Thursday market. So I would love to see a little bit of a clear market movement rather than the sideways range that we are experiencing for now. It's going to be a bit long market. Alright, so if you guys are trying to trade here, I would suggest to be a bit cautious, because right now no clear market directions, no clear ideas for us to actually execute any clear trades out of this market movement. So we'll see how that goes. And if you guys are a sideways trader, you guys are trying to trade on the support, trade on the resistance, this could be a very great idea to buy near the lows, sell near the highs. I think that could be a very well executable trades for you guys to be thinking. Alright, so what really happened? I think slightly to go back towards what's happening on the US dollar index, and I think for tonight the correlation hasn't been really there yet, because as we have already been seeing the currency strength charts, yes, US dollar index is weakening, but the upside momentum isn't appearing on the gold. It also isn't appearing on the silver market movement. So I think we'll try to take a closer look what's happening in the US dollar index and what are the implications towards the other currency market that could happen out of those market movement. Alright, so we'll try to watch out from that side of the market. And if you guys are enjoying our live streaming session so far, you guys are welcome to give us your thumbs up, give us your likes, and don't forget to share this video with your friends or anyone that you guys know who is interested to learn to trade, to analyze what's happening on the market, so we can learn together and discuss interactively here as well. And definitely, if you guys wanted to get a clear guidance in terms of trading ideas, you guys are always welcome to click on the video descriptions, chat me for access on the trading signals. I'll be sharing how you guys could get all of this for free as well. Alright. Alright, right now, as of now, we are still seeing that the momentum hasn't been clear on the gold, and I believe that should be the case also happening on the silver market, as we have already been discussing it since just now. So it's likely for us to see a little bit of a slow market. So right now, let us try to see what is happening on the US dollar index. Okay, so based on the US dollar index on the long term, it will be much clearer. So right now we have already been seeing that US dollar index has remained below $97.70, and I think this is a really good sign coming off the market, as prices are still maintain its price below $97.70, and that could really push down the US dollar index even faster than people will be expecting. And maybe you could be seeing prices hitting $96.50 soon if prices still remains below that and prices continues to weaken from that market movement alone. And based on that alone, I think it should be giving us a very clear sign and a clear market trend based on what we are seeing on the long-term market charts, on these daily charts, that prices has been weakening from its top at around 110, and prices are still continuing going down lower without any clear sentiment to help to build up its rebound. And certainly during the rebound that has happened, prices are still within the ranges of the downtrend, and prices are continuing going down lower on the daily charts. And I'm not really suspecting any rebounds on the short term as well, as prices has been quite weak for today, as you guys can also see right now on this 1 hour chart. Let me switch there. Yep, so based on the 1 hour time frame charts, we could actually see it very clearly that prices has remained weaker and hasn't been able to go higher than $97.70, and every time prices tries to break out higher, prices has always the tendency to go down lower again the next few days. So yes, the price possibility that we are seeing is likely to go lower rather than go higher, short term and long term. And if you guys are bullish on the dollar, I hope you guys are just bullish without making any trades, because certainly right now the directions are still showing us that the US dollar is definitely on the weaker side as of now. So let us try to see what could be happening here. Personally, I won't be expecting any big changes. Maybe a rebound trying to break higher than $97.70, but eventually prices will be slowing back down lower and will be moving down on the lower side, as all of the signs are just showing that prices has unable to break out then these ranges, and prices has continues to go down lower as a result. So we'll try to see. Prices has been moving lower and likely to be moving lower over the course of the night. So what are the implications for this kind of market movement? So one of the main things that a lot of people will be trying to take a closer look is definitely on the currency market, as there's more tendency to move much better with this kind of market scenario. And we'll try to see what happens from there onwards, guys. Alright, so let us try to see on the currency strength charts. So right now, if we are looking on the market movement, we can actually see it very clearly that market hasn't been able to go high on the US dollar index, and as a result we have been seeing that the currency strength charts has shown us that other currency has been outperforming the US dollar index for today. So if you guys are watching carefully, that today euro has been going up quite strong on the red line chart. So the way that you guys could actually try to pay attention what is going on in terms of the strength of the currency momentum for tonight, we could actually see it very clearly based on the color charts here. So the line represents every currency with its own color, and you guys could actually see. So tonight we have been seeing that the strongest pairs is coming out from the Australian dollar together alongside with New Zealand dollar. It has always been the case to see this kind of market movements, and second strongest other than those two is likely to followed by the euro. Yes, I do see that euro currency has been a bit slowing down after the London session started, and right now we are still seeing that it is one of the best performing for tonight. But the next is followed by the Swiss franc, pound sterling, followed with Canadian dollar as well as the Japanese yen, and the weakest pair is coming out from the US dollar index. So using these kind of charts alone, what could we be using and try to use it for our trades on the currency market? So if you guys are usually trading on the currency market, this could actually be quite a helpful tool, and I believe that most of you guys should be using it as well to try to gauge what's happening on the market. And one of the best things right now is happening based on the strongest and the weakest pairs, and you guys could immediately try to check out what is happening on those markets right now. So if we are checking a New Zealand dollar US dollar index, we could actually see that the momentum is still ongoing there. And as you guys know, that currency market is a little bit slower, so you guys need to have patience to trade here. But certainly over the past 5 hours, we have already been seeing that New Zealand dollar has been going stronger and breaking the resistance on this short term at around 0.605, and prices has still stays around there, so 0.604. So this is one of the cases that we are seeing that the currency strength charts could be used to do some trades as well. So other than the NZD USD, we are actually seeing also happening on the AUD USD as prices continues to go higher from the start of the day at around 0.647, and right now we are seeing prices has already been hitting at 0.652. So that's a total of close to 30 pips if I'm not wrong. So I think this is still a very good results as well for tonight, especially based on how the current market movement, we are still seeing the strength is still there despite the earlier rejections at around 0.6521. Prices are still trying to touch those areas and goes higher. And I believe that if you guys are comparing against most of the currency strength charts, you guys need to see also the most recent momentum. So based on the most recent momentum, we are seeing that the safe haven currencies like the Japanese yen and also the the Swiss franc is also weakening. So if you guys are trying to pair it down against the US dollar index, I'm afraid we couldn't be seeing a lot of momentums, and usually I'll be skipping out on this kind of market movement. Same thing as the US dollar Swiss franc. So I'll be definitely trying to pick out why is the most recent momentum, and likely it's appearing in the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar against the USD, and also Euro is starting to make a little bit of rebound. So maybe you guys could also try to focus there, as prices hasn't been actually moving far away from today's high at around 1.186, and right now prices are very near that and just shy by 6 pips. So you guys could actually definitely pay attention towards these three currencies for tonight. I believe as long as the US dollar index will be weakened and the rest of the currency is likely to remain elevated, I'm expecting to see that the closing prices could be higher than this one that we are seeing for the day. Alright, so you hope you guys could get a little bit of ideas what is expected out of this market for today, and definitely I'll be back on the gold charts as usual. And if you guys are getting a little bit of good ideas what you guys could be trading on the market, and get a little bit of idea what's happening around the market on the US dollar index, gold, silver, you guys are always welcome to follow and subscribe so that you guys don't miss out any important information that I'll be sharing at the earlier part live streaming sessions. And if you guys are enjoying it, you guys could give us a thumbs up, give us your likes, and share this video with your friends or anyone that you guys know who is interested to learn trade on the market or analyze and have interactive discussions with me. So you guys are always welcome to chat me, and I'll be reading, but so far I'm not really seeing one of any questions so far. So I hope that you guys have been getting a clear information and understanding what I've been sharing with you guys so far on the market. Okay. So right now, if we are watching back here, we are not actually looking at a very clear market directions again. We are right at the middle of the intersections, not showing us any clear trends, not showing us any clear signs. I'll be expecting to see better market reactions happening after prices breaks out higher than this sideways range that we have been watching so far. Alright. So let us try to analyze based on the news side if there are any changes, but I have not received anything yet so far, so I will not be expecting any big changes happen in terms of events. As usually on Monday, we'll be seeing a little bit of a slow market too. So definitely so far we have seen that EU is trying to negotiate the trade deals with US, and inflation data is actually lower across the European area, so I think that is certainly a good sign. On the Chinese economy is actually improving as well, so I think all of those ones are really positive, and people are expecting trade deals will be made at the G7 meeting, so I think there's certainly the optimisms are appearing out of there, and that's why we are also seeing that why gold market is also slowing down as well. And so far, yes, prices are still a little bit slow on the gold side, and there's no further market reactions appearing on both of the Israel and the Middle East escalations for now, so we'll see how that goes. This has happened during the weekend, but certainly the escalation is still ongoing, that is certainly clear. So a little bit of a mixed reactions from the market, where there's possible trade deals could be there. And on the other hand, we have the escalation, so that's why we are seeing why gold market hasn't been moved a lot and hasn't been able to give us any clear market reactions so far. Okay. Alright, so if you guys do have any questions about the market, you guys are always welcome to chat me on the discussions. And if you guys have any ideas or any suggestions that what trading assets you guys love to watch, I'll be happy to analyze it with you guys together. Alright, so just drop in the chats, I'll be reading if you guys do have any questions about the market. Alright, so far not much of a change. Same thing on what happened on the silver market, I assume. So not much of a change. It's going to be a tough night, I would say. Same thing on the silver market. So nothing much to do for now. We'll try to see how and what could be the possible market reactions from here. And in a moment, I'll analyze what's happening on the oil market, as oil market has been moving volatile compared to the rest of the assets. And other than the currency market, as we know, the prices has been continuing to give us a much clearer directions compared to gold for tonight. We are not really seeing much on the other side of the trades like the gold, silver, but more likely it's appearing on the currency market for now. Okay. So far, the market reactions on the currency market is also a little bit slowing down, so I would say be careful too. Right now, the strongest pair is still coming out from the New Zealand dollar USD. Okay, so right now, let us try to take some time, try to analyze what's happening on the oil market. So far, one of the biggest things happen on the oil market right now, if you guys are watching, that initially at the closing prices, we have already been seeing that prices has closed at around $74, around those area. And during the day where trading started to open, we see prices hits at around $76 immediately and jump by a total of around 5%. So I think that's a big jump. But afterwards, we started to see that oil prices slows down, and that really shows the anticipations coming out of the market that the oil market supply isn't interrupted much, and I think that's the main reason we are seeing that oil prices are still remain under around $70, not above $80 already right now. And we have really been seeing that there's a possibility that there is a topping phase is built out on the short-term market movement. So we'll try to see whether prices could be holding its support at around $71.70 and remains higher. If not, we are likely to see the possibility that prices will be going down slower from here onwards, guys. Alright, so I think that is a very important key for now for this oil market movement, because if prices couldn't start to move much better, there will certainly be a risk to see that oil prices could be breaking down below $70 if this chart pattern is completed. High possibility that prices would start hitting around $68, $69. But if not, we could actually see that prices would be at least moving on a sideways range at a much elevated price around $71 towards $75 on those ranges. That's the view on the short term. Long term market movement, I would say it is certainly a little bit risky right now, as prices couldn't be breaking out higher than $75, and that will be certainly be a little bit of a risk. And with this kind of red candlestick in the whole majority, it will be acting as a very good agent for us to see prices on the oil market could be a little bit slowing down, maybe ranging between $70 above on the long-term market movement. But as long as prices still remains above those, it seems that the oil market issue should be not a big deal coming out from the escalations to the Middle East, and we are likely to see that the oil market movement will be a little bit stagnant at around $70 to $72 in the long run if this continues on. But certainly today's candlestick hasn't been well. Long term, I'm still expecting that prices could stay above $70 with the current market movement that is still on the upside, still moving on an uptrend. And I'm expecting to see that prices should be able to hold itself off for $70 if everything goes well, despite the escalations could be de-escalating soon if that's the case. Alright, so definitely I would say I will be expecting that prices should be still staying above and try to go higher. Okay, that's the view on the oil market. Short term wise, it could also be showing us the same thing, so I will try to see how this pans out, whether prices could be holding itself above $72 and $71.60, and if prices are still able to hold itself pretty well, we could actually see some market reactions happening here soon, maybe towards $70 on the short term. Alright. Okay, back towards the gold market. So far, nothing much of a market reactions, guys. Alright. Okay, so currency market also started the weekend, so be cautious, guys. This prices has already been going up quite fast too. We'll see how that goes. Momentum is weakening. Prepare for some shots. Risk fight is very good, so I guess you consider that. US dollar index started to rebound, so I think that could be a bit of a change in the market. I'll try to see how that plays out too. So I think that's also one of the reasons why we started to see the weakening started to appear on the gold market as well, because we are not really seeing the weaknesses appearing in the US dollar index, and on short terms when the correction really does work well, we see that prices remains a bit weakened as of now. So that's why we are still seeing that yes, prices has a bit slowed down, but not with a really great momentum too. I think right now we are still in the waiting phase. And try to see how this plays out on the market, guys. Alright. And I've already been telling you guys that yes, today's tendency for the gold market is likely to go lower, and with this kind of ranges, it will be a long night until we started to see the breakdown of the breakout happening. Okay, so prices are right now will be trying to break down lower, so we'll see how that goes eventually, whether prices could be breaking down at the end of our live streaming sessions, or prices will be ranging once again. So I think this will be a very interesting market to see how that moves until the end, guys. Alright, so I would love to see how that plays out, and if prices starts to break down lower, I think that's a very good scenario on the market that we have been waiting for some time, guys. All right. Okay, right now prices are retesting support at 3,410. You're very close. We'll try to see how that works out. Whether prices could start break down lower than that price. Okay. Alright, I'll be back with you guys in a moment. So we'll see whether it will be breaking down below 3,410 soon, guys. Alright, because we have that support area at 3,410 around here. If prices breaks down lower, that could be very well the sign to do the short once prices breaks below 3,410. Alright, so wait a while, I'll be back with you guys. Okay, so what happened? So right before we see that prices are trying to break down below 3,410, prices once again rebounded. So I think that's what makes it tougher to trade on this kind of market conditions. And I think staying put for now, waiting for the confirmations could be the best thing that we could be waiting for. And with this kind of market scenario, people will be expecting to see market movement will be a bit tougher to trade, and that will certainly be the case. Alright, so for the remaining time, let us try to analyze what's happening in the stock indices, especially after the implications on the escalations of the Middle East side, so that you guys could get a little bit of an idea what is happening on the overall market situations, not just through the commodities but also through stock indices as well. Alright, so let us take a look on the US 100, as I prefer this indicator, I mean these trading assets, as one of the key criteria that we could actually be looking at the market. And let us try to view on the daily charts. So what is happening on the stock indices? So initially we started to see, yes, price reactions on the stock indices is initially really aggressive on the lower side, as prices are heading back lower towards this 21,450 area, if I'm not wrong, and prices has been able to rebound since then, because people are expecting that the escalations from the war could be minimized pretty soon, especially with the involvement of US presidents saying that they could be reaching a deal soon, negotiations there, but so far I'm not really seeing one of it yet. But based on the technical analysis, that this is actually a very good market scenario, where we have already been seeing that prices has been able to hold itself pretty well, about 21,450, and it's still consisted with the healthy uptrend. I know that this is certainly not a really very clear trend as usual that we are seeing, but the recovery that we have already been seeing appearing across the US 100 has been very well. Prices has been going up higher and has been able to show the attributes of the healthy uptrend that we have already been expecting. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and right now we are building another higher low. So I think this is the final path before we could actually start seeing that prices could start rebounding and touch the high at 22,200 for the next price target if there's a new high that could be built up and hitting record prices for once again on the US 100. And definitely right now we are watching through the daily charts, but the expectations to see for that to happen is really high, especially with how the market reaction has been moving, especially with the escalation is still there, but we are seeing that gold prices are still remain subdued. Gold is also not rising as well, so I think that's why we started to see that the risks on most of the equity markets also started to return, especially with this kind of rebound. Expectations are short term, we could be actually seeing that prices could be hitting 21,100 back again at this resistance area. So I would love to see how this market continuation works. Definitely a lot of optimisms are there, and we are watching through the short term. Prices keeps on going higher and higher, so I think this is definitely a very good sign coming up from the market to actually see this kind of market reactions appearing on the US 100 stock indices. And with this kind of market reactions, one of the main things that people will be saying, that means that people are already having a much better risk appetite, and that's why we could actually start to see that the gold market hasn't been moving a lot. And I think that could be the case, but at the same time we know that there's a lot of uncertain things like interest rate decisions and inflations around the world, even though started to slow down. But the main point is a lot of things is still uncertain, especially coming from the trade deals. That is still a big main topic for tonight. So I would love to see how the market reactions work at those prices, and as long as prices on gold remains elevated, I think there's always chances for things to be a bit slowing down later on in the future, on the short term. And based on this market movement indications alone, we've already been seeing, yes, gold prices has remained elevated, and that could be something appearing on the market that could give us a little bit of a sign. We should be a little bit careful, and we'll see how that goes. But certainly right now, based on the gold market alone, we couldn't be making a lot of trades. Prices has been ranging and ranging again and over again. So we'll try to see how that works, guys. Alright. And definitely I'm expecting the same thing happened on the silver market, and right now could be a very good time to do another buy, because right now at the lower side, this could be possessing a very low risk, high reward scenario for you guys. For scalpers, short-term traders, you guys are welcome to try to take the chances to risk a very low risk and get a much preferable reward on this risk-reward chart situation. And we're right now watching through the 15-minute time frame charts so that you guys could actually see it much clearly. But certainly this is a very good situation that we could actually see that has been ranging in the silver market, and this is your chances to buy near the support, sell near the resistance. Okay, and definitely it's also happening on the gold market, where right now prices are rebounding near the low. You can try to buy near the low, sell at the high, 3,420. So for scalpers, this is your chances, but for me, I think I'll be staying on the sidelines, trying to watch out what could be happening on this market. So if you guys do have any questions about the market, you guys are welcome to chat me. If not, I'm sure that you guys have been very understanding of what we have already been analyzing so far. Definitely, if you guys do have enjoy our content so far, our analysis so far, you guys are welcome to give us your likes and thumbs up. Definitely appreciate your support. And don't forget to follow and subscribe if you guys don't want to miss out on any details that I've been sharing on the earlier side of the live streaming sessions. And the only way that you guys will get that is definitely following and subscribing, so that you guys will be notified whenever I'm starting my live streaming sessions, and you guys could get those updates from me personally on these live streaming sessions. And if you guys do interested to learn how to analyze and ask me a few questions about trading, you guys are always welcome to chat me and ask me any questions. But certainly if you guys are interested to get trading ideas like the ones that you guys have been seeing here on the right hand side of the corner, you guys are always welcome to click on the video descriptions, click on the link and chat me for more information about it. And for more details about what's happening around the world, you guys are always welcome to click the link and chat me for access on the VIP live sessions as well as the premium signals for free as well. Alright guys. So in another few minutes, I'll be giving you guys a little bit of recap and hope to see you guys on the VIP live sessions tonight. If not, I'll be seeing you guys here tomorrow. Alright, so I'll try to see what's happening and give you guys a little bit of a recap. Alright, AUD/USD started to rebound, US dollar index starts to weaken, so I think there is something happening on the market. Otherwise, we couldn't be getting those kind of market reactions. And certainly, this is a very bullish signs with AUD/USD, NZD/USD started to jump pretty fast. So I think this is a really good scenario. Okay, so AUD/USD is the only one, and NZD/USD keeps on rising. So you guys could definitely focus on this chart. And looking back on the currency strength charts, other currency hasn't been moving that well. So I think I'll be personally advocating for these two currency charts for you guys to trade on the long side, because I'm not really seeing any other market situations that is much preferable compared to these ones. And alright, so it's about time, so let me give you guys a little bit of recap. Since we started to see that the US dollar index started to rebound a little bit, we started to see that gold prices started to drop as well. But in return, we started to see a little bit of a clear market directions as US dollar index keeps on weakening, and we started to see that gold prices rebounds and remains ranging at around 3,410 towards 3,430, and it still remains a lot of ranging momentum appearing on the gold market together on the silver market as well for tonight. So if you guys are short-term traders, you guys could try to buy in the lows, sell near the highs, even though the reward won't be much, but this is certainly the market that scalpers would definitely love to trade. Meanwhile, on the all market reactions that we've already been seeing so far, yes, all prices still remain under pressure, and there's a good chances for us to actually see that prices will be testing the support at around $71.65, and I'm expecting to see that on the short term we could actually see the potential of double top formations appearing here, and at the very least we could be seeing that all prices could be hitting $70 soon. And definitely on the currency market, as we've already been discussing, AUD/USD, NZD/USD could be your preferred choice to trade on the market. Alright, so I hope that helps you. So right now for the both gold scalpers, this is your time. If not, if you guys wanted to get trading ideas, you guys are always welcome to click on the video descriptions and chat me for this or the access on my VIP live sessions. Hope to see you guys there. If not, I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Bye.